What up? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Monster. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. Monster is just fine. I mean, it's a good movie with timely, relevant, powerful themes. I'm not sure why it took so long for the film to finally arrive since it premiered 3 years ago, but I suppose Monster fits right at home in today's post-George Floyd world. I think a lot of people who are wrapped up in their bubble of privilege, they would see this movie and get a strong example of how systemic racism works in our two-tier justice system. So if this movie can move the needle on that issue, then it's mission accomplished. But the problem with Monster is its unappealing, uneven narrative choices. Based on Walter Dean Meyer's book, written by Rada Blank, Colin C. Wiley, and Janice Schaffer, and directed by Anthony Mandler, Monster tells the story of Steve Harmon, a 17-year-old honor student whose world comes crashing down around him when he is charged with felony murder. The film follows his dramatic journey from a smart, likable film student from Harlem attending an elite high school through a complex legal battle that could leave him spending the rest of his life in prison. By the way, quick plug, I actually previously interviewed the star of this film, Kelvin Harrison Jr., on the red carpet a few years ago, one of today's most awesome rising actors. So come watch my entire video interview with Kelvin right here only on Rama Screen YouTube channel. Although Kevin, in my opinion, did a solid job in Monster, he has given much more compelling performances in the past in much more well-crafted movies such as Loose and Waves. So think of his role as Steve Harmon here as merely a tease or a glimpse into the immense presence that he exuded in those two other movies I mentioned. As I implied earlier, the problem with Monster is how the narrative is structured. One half of it feels like an extended episode of Law and Order, and the other is just a string of often rudderless flashbacks. I understand that the idea is to get the audiences to acknowledge the potential that is Steve Harmon, the aspiring filmmaker, but it weaves in and out so abruptly and disorganized. It keeps snatching you or taking you away from the emotional moments at hand. Maybe director Anthony Mandler is just following the author's approach. I don't know, I've never read the book. Or maybe Anthony really believes that this is the only effective way to go about it. But instead, it just comes off frenetic, irritating, and all over the place. It's as if it's having difficulties retaining its own attention. But I don't want to minimize the important stuff that this story wants to tackle. How law enforcement and society often are just eager to jail and label young black men willy-nilly, fully knowing that if a white kid commits the same crime, he wouldn't be dehumanized and degraded in such a severe manner. Much of the courtroom drama here can feel uncomfortable because we know in our bones that that takes inspiration from similar situations that actually happened in courtrooms in the real world out there. So despite the film's storytelling style being its own worst enemy, Kelvin's performance and Monster's racial injustice messages are worth checking out.